My Juicy Lucy. She's finally 18. I've wanted her longer than I can ever legally admit. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be my perfect little toy. And I'm going to be her daddy. How does that make you feel? I would describe it as disgusted. Do you know what's worse than that? The person who wrote this is a mother of two. Wait till you see who this book was dedicated to.
Book is disgusting.
Has officially been arrested.
The latest scandal in the book world revolves around this Australian author who wrote a novel called That Is Little Toy. Now, take a look at this cover and tell me, does this look normal to you? More on the cover in a bit. That Is Little Toy. I cringe every time I say the title. So, the book is about a 32-year-old man who fantasizes about a 3-year-old. I'm gonna let that sink in. Yes, a grown-up lusting over a toddler. But that's completely fine because no intercourse happened while she was young, right? I mean, that's what the author says. Let's see the whole entire blurb or synopsis on the cover of the book. We have the toddler, now grown up perspective and Arthur's way of seeing it, the male adult. Lucy, I can't help myself when I'm around him. I wet my pants in excitement. At night, I use my unicorn stuff his horn on myself. I'm delusional if I think Arthur would ever want to play with me. Arthur, adult, male, 20-something year gap between them, okay? My Juicy Lucy. She's finally 18. I've wanted her longer than I can ever legally admit. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be my perfect little toy, my precious little unicorn, and I'm going to be her daddy. When I see her playing dress-ups, I forget about the fact that she's my best friend's barely legal daughter, or that her mom hasn't protected and cherished her like she should. All I know is that she's meant to be my baby girl. Now, I am not new to taboo themes in books, but this is not taboo. This is grooming. This is weird shit, okay? Who even thought about writing this book? Well, the author is an Australian woman who wrote under the pen name of Tori Wood. Before that, she wrote under the name Lauren Ashley, but she got caught in a plagiarism scandal. She was accused of stealing content from, let me check, S.T. Moore's book, Barren Second Chance. Because of that, she ditched the name Lauren Ashley and rebranded herself as Tori Wood. I guess some people just never learn. Let me help you understand more clearly how disturbing this book is, because one of her ARC readers posted a review of the book. The male main character started noticing the female character when she was 3. I'm sorry, but 3 years old? Brace yourselves. Wanting a woman as sweet as my friend's toddler daughter, Lucy. I made the mistake of picking between her legs only to find dark curls hiding what I'm sure was and still is the most perfect, untouched, pretty little pink. And while I'm impartial to a little pubic hair, I generally prefer my baby girl's bare. It makes the little feel more authentic. Little girls don't have hair on their private parts. I can't remember how old she was here, but she was still a child. So yeah, no, this is... yes, it is. They have a 29-year-old age, I presume she wanted to say age gap. That is okay if he didn't want her since she was 3. My brain cannot comprehend how one can write something like this and not realize it is not okay. The only reasoning is that she is deranged. This book is about a predator grooming his victim. And I know there are a lot of books out there that depict and other immoral, illegal stuff, but this book was advertised as romance, and Tori here romanticized grooming and pedophilia. That's what she did. Books like this give a bad rep to dark romance because a lot of people assume that this is dark romance, and it is not. This is not dark romance. And it is not really fair to the writers and the readers of this genre because this book is just vile. Just the thoughts of a deranged woman. Worse, a deranged mother, okay? In dark romance books, these type of characters are the villains. They are the ones that get killed by the MMC. Dark romance is taboo, and we all know it plays with themes of power and danger and obsession, but there is always a clear line. Everything is consensual, and even in CNC, the dynamic is desired by both characters. And we are talking about adults. But this book is quite literally a predator grooming a child advertised as a love story. This is what makes this book not controversial, but illegal and immoral. Shortly after publishing her book, social media exploded, and a lot of people called for her book to be banned, which happened. Many reported it to the Australian authorities. Hard to pronounce. The Australian law is a bit different in the sense that any material that sexually depicts minors is classified as child material. And that's how the authorities could arrest her on 21st of March. Tori was also a religious woman, an honest Christian. That's why she worked at this Christian charity organization called Baptist Care. Though she got fired after getting arrested, the author was granted conditional bail and is scheduled to appear before a court. But in response to this controversy, she deleted her social media account, but not before posting her apology, if we can call it that. Hi everyone, I think there's been a huge misunderstanding. DLT, which I guess is the name of the book. Do we need to abbreviate it? Is definitely not promoting or inciting anything ever to do with CSA or what is being said is grossly disturbing and breaks my heart, as well as it makes me sick. What happened between these characters, yes, started at a young age. No intercourse happened while she was young. Now, this is a bit ridiculous to me, because you are telling me that your book isn't about, yet you admit that your MMC, main character, had inappropriate sexual thoughts about a kid. Also, she feels sick about everything. Girl, you are sick, okay? So there is no intercourse. Then we are completely fine, right? I'm really shocked that she didn't realize just how pathetic that would sound. There are, however, 3 innocent people who have been caught in the crossfire, and it needs to stop. Georgia, Misha, and Ashley, along with their businesses. Pixel and Quill Studio, the cover design, Mish Taylor, her PA, personal assistant, and Ava, book editing. Whatever. These ladies were under no impression that I was Lauren Ashley writing as Tori Wood. I reached out to these ladies to work with them as Tori and only as Tori. Georgia was my PA for Lauren Ashley and had only ever read half of my very first book and decided it wasn't for her. This is why she became my PA, because she was honest. Neither of them knew to the full extent what was in this book. She had asked me some questions, and in my replies I wasn't entirely truthful. I'm sorry that I wasn't who I said I was, and I'm sorry for the content in my books. And I'm even sorry that this was missed as a trigger warning. The problem here is not that you missed a trigger warning. The problem here is that you romanticized. So this is not an apology, really. It's just her feeling sorry that she didn't think of including this as a trigger. Not that there is anything wrong with what she wrote. Her taking the entire blame upon herself is something that I kind of expected, because let's be honest, they all knew what the book was about. There is no doubt in my mind that they knew, but they wanted their paychecks. Now, is that immoral and people should have a greater sense of responsibility? Yeah, we should say something when we see that things are not right. But at the same time, let's be honest and see that a lot of people would have done the same exact thing because they just wanted their money and they didn't really care all that much. Unfortunately, that's a thing that happens very often. The graphic designer got a lot of backlash from this, and she said that I have cut ties with Tori Wood effective immediately. All I had known about the book was the blurb, which read barely legal, and in my mind I truly thought that was okay. Please stop with the threats over something I had no say in. Obviously, being threatened is not alright. she knew. I mean, you are designing this cover here and you do not know what the book is about. I think people can have a lapse in judgment sometimes. People can not care, but she did know what she was designing. Tori Wood had the same personal assistant while she worked under the name of Lauren Ashley, specifically during her plagiarism scandal. Now, you are telling me that the PA didn't know they were working with the same exact person? I'm not entirely sure if the charges are going to stick, because even if it is disgusting, it is still a work of fiction. But what I know for sure is that Child Protection Services should take a look into this. Because the fact that a mother of two wrote this raises serious questions. The worst thing of them all is her dedication, which was exactly this. I will never look at my kids the same after writing this book. I believe that this is a whole different level of disturbing. I cannot truly grasp the thought of a mother writing a love story about a grown adult who fantasized about a 3-year-old and then dedicated this book to their kids. I'm sure we are talking about some mental issues here. I mean, you tell me, wouldn't that raise concerns? The backlash was honestly a good thing. Getting arrested was a good thing. Banning the book was a good thing. But being imprisoned for writing a book, I believe that is a bit too much. I think she learned her lesson when it comes to writing and disseminating this type of information. But when it comes to what's going on in her mind, well, we cannot control that. But what we can do is, as a society, we can condone harshly this type of behavior so that it is discouraged. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find any other reviews. I do know a few reviews that said this book was a 3-star and that they liked the spice. For those people, I think you should work on your critical thinking, and just stop reading spicy books for a while. Take some walks in the park, focus on social norms, because brushing over in a book just because it has spice in it. Usually I talk about more lighthearted topics on this channel, but I was bombarded on TikTok and I thought that I would like to know about such a situation. So this was me putting the information out there. Thanks for watching, and I hope we do better as a society. What else can I say? Yeah.